and sweet sour chicken, and we're going to make them out of the Betty Crocker Chinese cookbook. We've sort of got the recipe studied, and I'm going to get at this now as quickly as I can.
What are you making?
We're making peppered steak and sweet sour chicken.
Okay.
The sweet sour chicken calls for, let me see, 3/4 of a pound of diced chicken breast. All right, well, we have those already right here in the pan, and it calls for 1.5 cups of celery cut at an angle in 1/4-inch pieces, and we have that ready right here. And then it calls for about the same amount of carrots cut in small pieces and at the angle. And it calls for the onions cut up in little half rounds. And it calls for, it didn't call for zucchini, but we decided that maybe a little zucchini in there wouldn't hurt anything since we have a lot of zucchini this week. And it calls for, let me see, it calls for the green pepper and the pineapple and the the water chestnuts, which have been assembled. And then we're going to have to add to this the have ready is the fresh bean sprouts. So now we've pretty well got everything together here. In order to do this, we've got to make two solutions. One is the marinade for the chicken, and that's a combination of wine and soy sauce and vinegar and sugar. The meat gets put in there, and it is carefully marinated for a couple of hours, and then it's dried and deep fried or fried in the wok very quickly. We have to have we have to have a mixture of cornstarch and sugar, pineapple juice, vinegar, soy sauce, and ginger root and the ginger root. The ginger root and garlic are also in the chicken, in the meat. Now we've pretty well got that assembled. We'll cover that all up and set it aside, and we'll gather up the materials necessary for the pepper steak. Now for pepper steak, we're going to use the necessary together to make the peppered steak. Now the first ingredient and the primary one is a nice big dish full of very thinly sliced sirloin steak that's been cut up and prepared. And then we have the green pepper, which will go into the peppered steak, and the tray of onions. Not quite as many ingredients in this one as there is in the other one, but then
like tomatoes.
Tomatoes, didn't I say tomatoes?
No, you said onions. But
oh, I'm sorry. I had the onions confused with the tomatoes. So we have the tomatoes ready to go in, the onions ready to go in. This one doesn't have quite as many ingredients. However, we do again in the flavoring use the garlic and the ginger root. Those two things seem to come along